Hey guys, so we are about to go live in a World Championship matchup with Ex Machina. Probably about an hour's time. I think we're at match 2, but we're going to try and record a behind the scenes look at how the battle goes. So we're doing a fair bit of practice, so be very interesting to see how it goes. And just to give you some background commentary and visual that you don't get to see on the live stream, because the live stream's just screen only. So we're up first. I thought we were a second match. No warm-up needed. Let's go. Not going to lie, pretty tired. But let's do it. With no mistakes, dimension mistakes or missing features is going to be the issue here. All right, starting to feel some nerves. Heart pumping a little bit. It's funny how you get sweaty palms. It's not that bad, but there's definitely some physical reaction to being about to go up in a live competition. So let's go. All right, hey guys, I am recording some over-the-top commentary because video on its own, without the background from Toby, wasn't that exciting. So I'm going to talk you through what I was thinking when I was attempting these and where it went wrong, which was in quite a few places. So in this first challenge, I immediately went to that sort of front view, looking at those circles. Mistake. I should have gone to the side view and done the revolves like Viktor was suggesting. And yeah, I don't know. I was trying to get detail in that front view profile, but it was the wrong one to choose. And, I kind of realized that after I added a couple of relations and made that bottom rectangle just for construction, because I wasn't actually going to use it. I just wasted my time. And essentially that's probably what cost me this battle. Spent too long trying to work out the shape of or the overall profile of what would be a simple slot from a top view. So yeah, just some stupid stuff there. But yeah, I was definitely sort of feeling that pressure. I was really looking forward to having a couple of warm-ups just to get in rhythm. Particularly being, so early in the morning. Once I got into it, once I got one extrude done and got it in position, I was using an offset tool. So use offset from the sketch plane, use some dimensions there just to set its position. I started to make a bit more progress here, but by this stage I was well behind where Ex Machina was. This is, if I was doing one of the views without doing the revolve from the side profile, I should have just started on this top view, the way Ex Machina did. It was a nice choice. So that's something to look for next time. I will speed up the video here because it's a bit boring. It would just take too long on this one. Okay, so I've sped up the video just to whip through this section. What I did was okay, but wasting time doing construction sketches in this comp is not going to get you very far. I probably doubled up on a few things I didn't need to. Commentary hadn't really kicked in at this stage. I had a feeling I was kind of on track time-wise as far as, winning the battle, but yeah, it turns out, I was just behind maybe 10 or 15 seconds, which is all those early mistakes that I did. Okay. Whole wizard here was pretty smooth. So learning how to use that has been really beneficial in speed modeling recently. And putting a few shortcuts into my S key hot keyboard shortcut, like those sketch pattern, for instance, that's definitely helped. So I think it was about this point, Ex Machina put his result in, game was over. And I'd lost. Not too disappointed on this one. I knew that I hadn't done it that well, and plenty to work on for number 2. There were a few sketches I did that I didn't really use. I found the drawing difficult to read because there's so many lines sort of crossing over on those views. So yeah, definitely room for improvement. We'll see if we get another chance. All right. I'm going to have to go quicker on this one. Definitely take some risks. I should have gone the revolve on that side profile. We'll see. Oh. All right, here we are, battle number 2. And immediately I felt a lot more comfortable with this model. There was many sort of overlapping lines. I could see straight away the profile that I wanted to sketch, which was going to be that top view. That top view gives you a lot of sort of locating details. I knew I could do that draft in a single feature, and that kind of side profile extrusion would be done in another feature as well. So again, at this point, I had not seen any of what Ex Machina is doing. So I know it's on the screen. I've got that on the live stream to the side, but you can't really take time to look at what someone else is doing. Okay, you can hear a little bit from the commentators sometimes, but they, at the same time, Toby and any potential guest, they don't want to give hints. They don't want to tell someone if they've done something wrong or right. So they're typically commentating as well on the delay, a few seconds behind, to kind of give the crowd some ideas. But yeah, there's a challenge there because but they don't want to help the runners, to try and keep it fair. So I was taking a big risk on this one. I shouldn't have, and in the end, I would have had the time to fix it up, which I did. But I thought, you know what? I know once I do this first rectangle sketch and do my fillets on 3 corners and extend one edge, I'm going to lose the definition that I had. And I was like, should I take the time to go and fully define it to get it right, to get it all, black lines? Because I did have a lot of dimensions there, but turns out I should have. There was just too much underdefined for me to get a correct answer. So, yeah, that was a mistake, and I think that is something I will rectify in the next round. I will very rarely have underdefined sketches from here on. But I was happy with this method, right? So creating the base extrude, very quickly draft from one edge. Okay, that worked first time. Usually, sometimes I've got to flip the draft direction, but that was good. And then I could see from the sketches straight away that the profile starts from that face. So using that face to then do my extrude, excuse me, to do that extrude of that kind of arm, that was going to work. And I was paying close attention here to the dimensions. So that's why I chose not to do a thin feature like Viktor pointed out in the stream. There's an 8 on the top, and then that 14 or whatever I think on the bottom. Maybe it's a 12 millimeter. some trickier dimensions there. So it's just taking a bit of time to set that up right, and get those positions right. So I'm not really referring to the original sketch I'd done. I don't know if there would have been much time saving in doing that. The main thing I was doing was trying to get these fillets done quickly, get the angles, dimensions, relations done quickly, because I knew once I had this as just a quick extrude cut through the top, and the job's done on this one. At this point, I've still got no idea. I've got no idea if I'm winning or losing. You just don't know. And like, until you get to the very end and you get a chance to peek across to see what the other guy's doing, it's a bit of a guess. So yeah, I was going up to an edge. I had some trouble with selecting the vertex, but got there. But that dimension was wrong. So yeah, had to go back and edit, which we'll see that in a minute. I have a bit of a theory. I don't think this is going to be giving too much away, but I feel it myself. When you feel under pressure because someone else has put in an answer, you're like, man, they must be really close. And so all of a sudden you start to panic a little bit. Now, I haven't had that too many times where somebody else has put in a wrong answer against me. But I think that there is an aspect of mental games to this. So something that it's a bit of fun and a bit of experimentation. So got the answer wrong. All right, we've got to go back. We only get one second chance, and I've already lost one match. So got to go and fully define these things. I could see there. You can see what moves, right? I just had to get these endpoints aligned. So horizontal, coincident, vertical, coincident, and then get my correct dimensions in. Yes, I took some time, 5 seconds to jump in the chat and suggest that, I should have really got this fully defined the first time, but it's a bit of fun. So yeah, it's good to interact. And you know what? I was only like 4 or 5 relations off having it fully defined in the first place anyway. So yeah, I really should have just done it. So you're under pressure here, but go back to your old habits, see what's moving. And then, one relation, and then it's all black. And then I can see that dimension. That's the line that was troubling me, which I've now corrected. And I was like, you know what? I'm confident enough that this is right. Put the answer in. Yep, let it rip. And we've got to win. So, chat. That was a big sigh of relief. Yes. Put the pressure on, got the first one wrong, fixed it up, and we're good. Let's go. 1-1. At least we got one win in. Free hit now. Doesn't matter either way. There's definitely some theory there to get a first answer out early. Even if it's wrong, just to put the pressure on. Now, there is a mental aspect to this, I think, because you can hear the live commentary, which is actually delayed about 6 seconds or 10 seconds. Put that pressure on, they can make mistakes. You only need one answer correct, so it doesn't really matter if you just put something in that's a bit wrong, or there's a chance sometimes you're right. All right, here we go for challenge number 3, which would have seen match over if it weren't for 0.0001 of a gram. Colorativity got me on this one, but we'll come back to that. I did like the this kind of geometry. Suits me. Okay, easy enough to see, read. Did make a mistake. That's obvious for anyone that's still alive. We'll get to that in a second. But my strategy just set up from that front pin that was immediately there, using just your regular sketch tools, but some neat ones like the curved slot. Okay, using symmetry, using some construction lines, using a mirror for that sketch. I thought that was really efficient as well. I won't talk too far ahead here, because it's actually a bit of a long one once I get my second wrong answer in. So, the process I was going through was just trying to get as much, well, not too much, but into this first sketch. But I knew I could get those slots in there, and that would save me time, which comparatively, you can see actually Ex Machina is probably a little bit ahead of me. I think this is where I really made some strides though. So I knew seeing the side view where it had those 1.5 millimeter dimensions, 1.5 millimeter, IPS inch, said to me that I could sketch it in the middle, and then I could offset at that distance and then do an extrude up to the outside edge. Because, drawing on those outside edges or anything to do with curves when you're trying to match them can be difficult. So using an up to surface face there was going to be quite simple. And I thought that I could get all of the sketch detail in this one profile here and then do the extras and cuts that I needed. Where I made a mistake was not reading the difference in the holes, and it wasn't super obvious in the 3D image. So if you'd already seen this challenge and you've seen the mistakes already, where I went wrong is I assumed, and you can see it here, what I'm about to do, I'm actually mirroring the hole and cutting it in half and mirroring to get the other side done quicker. But it's not a mirror, so it's a misread on the geometry. And it wasn't until I realized it later, I fixed it. Then my second issue was not knowing how to change settings the right way to get the answer that I needed. So frustrating, because could have been over a bit earlier. Saved everyone 5 minutes and plus the fourth challenge, but they're there. There's still good geometry though, Mark. So my process to mirror there, like this, I could have mirrored and then done the holes separately, like that could have worked. I think here I rushed out my first answer. Okay, so I'm just 3 minutes in. What I talked about in challenge number 2, trying to put some pressure back on it as much as I can. Knowing that it's like the do or dilemma. So very quickly, well, at least we get this feedback that, okay, the answer's right. And then I was like, it's the holes. The holes I've done wrong. But they also, thankfully, the commentators mentioned the tolerance. So times on this drawing was like 4 decimal places. I was under the impression from previous tournaments and practice models that at most would be go 3 decimal places. So all of my default templates, so this is the explanation for why we're wrong here, all of my default templates are set up to 3 decimal places. And then because it's not something that I change very often, so in the heat of the moment, I didn't know how to actually go back and get that decimal place. So the answer I entered was like 1.160. 1.160, or something like that. Let me check. Hold on. But the other correction. So 0.116. And then I had 3 decimal places, so I didn't get the last one. So I don't know what I was thinking. As my second answer, I put in 0.1160. There's no difference to the answer. The answer is 0.1156. And the tolerance is 0.0003. So if I had if the tolerance was 0.0004, I would have had it. I would have had it well in advance of Ex Machina. So the thing here, I've worked out, at least at this point, worked out my issue with the holes. Okay. So you can see here, I'm just correcting that, getting my sketch right. And using the dimensions, again, I'm using the offset and the dimensions from that side profile. Okay, to get that cut right. And look, it's kind of close here. So I'm looking at the side views. I'm like, got the geometry right. But here, you can see I start reaching for the document properties. Okay. So, trying to get into like mass properties here. I've been changing the decimal places. I go to document properties. I change primary precision to 0.4 decimal places. I'm changing the wrong things. And I don't learn to work. So that's now. I know now what I need to do. I just need to go in that bottom right-hand corner, click custom properties, and change the weight of decimal places. So yeah, probably I wasted another minute here, mucked around trying to get that right before entering it. I gave up, knowing that Ex Machina was going to close. Put that second one in, knowing that if I got it wrong, at least it puts the 5 minute timer up. So maybe, tolerance issues, interacting with the chat, I'm done. If he gets it right, I'm done. So, fortunately, I haven't seen up close where he went wrong, but I have a suspicion. If I get a chance to ask you, find out. He put his second answer in. So he did 2 answers. He put his second answer in still with 3 minutes on the timer. And then it was over. And it was wrong. I don't know if he forgot that he'd already put one answer in, or if it was a misclick or something like that. And so that's kind of what saved me. So, big lesson here. At least now, next time I know, if I see that tolerance issue, look, I'm not going to go and change all my default templates again. I think I'll just leave it, knowing that I can in a few seconds change that decimal place to. But yeah, it's really could have been tournament over in the first round from not waking up on the first model, and then decimal places issues on the second one. I like to do this. If I'm wrong, if I'm to get too wrong in a matter of live for one of these challenges, I'll go to my drawers and I'll start ticking things off. But I was starting this process, and that's when the time went off because that's like an answering. So I think the seat don't give me a salary. So one more chance, go to a push. I don't know what a push is. But I was very happy to get one last chance in this first round. And check that out now. Yeah, that's annoying. I'll have to fix my tolerances stuff after. I reckon I had that right. And I was 0.0001 off the tolerance. So frustrated. All right, so final battle time, and we are off. And immediately claim black. Thank you for this model, tier 3. The geometry of this, if you haven't seen my beginner series and my pulley project, if you had a look at some of the first stuff there, you would immediately see that geometry from that side profile. Big circle at the bottom, large circle at the top. I knew exactly how to tackle this model straight away. So I felt very comfortable. It was surely going to be execution here. And we were back to millimeters, I believe, as well. So, sort of right back in the comfort zone. It was just, a couple of simple sketches. The only tricky part here was that top section where it sort of squares off and comes up and around the corners. But a trick I've learned more recently is, just splitting those sketch contours and doing that here with a horizontal line across the middle. Now, you have to be careful not to hit the midpoint of those tangent lines, but just get a horizontal line in there, get the dimension in, and then I've got all the profile I need to create all the main geometry apart from that swap that goes through the middle, the other direction. And that's how it played out. So first extrude done at the bottom, got that dimension right. Next, do the top section. Okay, now I got this dimension wrong. I don't know how, but this is what happened under pressure. So I put in, I think, 2 instead of 2.25 or 2.5. Yeah, instead of 2.25. So that was a blue, but easy enough to fix later. Because unlike my early mistakes in round 1, actually fully defined every gear with the sum. Quick fillets on those edges, the slot, but a cut through the middle, dimension the slot based on drawing. Again, very simple. Just white and thick end. I'm done. I'll slot and I'm done. Slot done. Answer in. This is a 2-minute. I've got that burst answer in. And they said I was wrong. I was actually a bit shocked, but then you could say I'm just flicking around, just trying to see what's gone wrong. And I'm checking off the dimensions. It's not such a complicated drawing that I need to go and create a drawing to find what's wrong. Okay, it's visual inspection here. I'm rotating. Okay, I'm trying to pick up, what looks different to the 3D model. And I guess right. I think I go to this profile here, and I can see, all those dimensions on that sketch are correct. So check them off. And then I'm just working my way down to the tree. I can see then my second feature, I click on that. I go back, I go, yep, there it is. 2 needs to go to 2.25. Change that, do a very quick check. I'm like, I think that's it, bang, I've got it through me. And that's it. 1. Big releases. Later, Rip. Ah! That's a bit of a release there, man. It's all right. We'll end the video there. I'll watch the other runners, enjoy the win, get some sleep later. But great game. And on to the next round. See you guys.